How good can the Seattle Mariners really be? Let's talk about it. So the Seattle Mariners have won 5 series in a row. And again, these aren't against teams that aren't contending for playoff spots. The Rockies obviously were not a very good team, but the Reds, the Rangers, the Diamondbacks, and the Braves are all going to be competing for playoff spots this season. So there is absolutely no shaking the fact that the Mariners are winning baseball games against very good teams. So the true question is, how good can the Mariners really be in 2024? And as most fans know, the offense has not been great during this 5-series win stretch, and the pitching has really just been absolutely dominant, and compared to the rest of the league, they are just absolutely dominating and running through teams that are like the Braves that are really, really good and making them look really, really not good. So in this video, I kind of just wanted to discuss how good this team would be if the offense was just middle of the pack to maybe even slightly above average. So we're going to go over the pitching stats as well as the offensive stats since the start of the Cincinnati Reds series where this whole win streak really started. So let's go into the pitching stats, and I'm going to pull a chart up on your guys' screen. So since the Cincinnati Reds series, and mind you, this is pitching, relief pitching, and starting combined. This isn't just one or the other. This is both of them combined. Opponent average has been 163, which is first in the majors. Earned runs has been 20, which is ridiculous, which is also first in the majors. Ks per 9 is 10.22, which is second in the majors. WAR is a 3.1, which is also second in the majors. And then ERA is a 1.44, which is first in the majors. So that's kind of the thing with this win stretch is the Seattle Mariners pitching hasn't just been good. It's been absolutely dominant. I believe in terms of ERA with the 1.44 that they have, I believe the second team had like a 2.6 something. So it's not even close at the fact how good our pitching staff has been all around. Giving up 20 earned runs in an 18-game stretch is absolutely ridiculous. And my only fear with it is the fact that they can't really maintain that throughout an entire season. While again, they will always be good. We expected them to be a very good pitching staff going into this season, but they are just absolutely dominating. So the one thing that I've been saying across this win streak, which some people have gotten mad at me for, but at the end of the day, it's just the facts, is imagine how good this team would be if the offense would just not be so mediocre. And honestly, it's below mediocre right now. Somehow still when an offseason, we're focusing on minimizing strikeouts. We are still leading the league when we are 30 plus games into the season in strikeouts, and it's really not even that close. We're almost a percentage higher, if not more, I believe, than the second closest team. And before I analyze a little deeper, I'm going to pull up the chart for the offensive stats since the start of the Cincinnati Reds series. And I use things average, K percentage, WAR, RBIs, and home runs. So in terms of batting average as a team, the Seattle Mariners are hitting .232. And mind you, this isn't excluding the game from yesterday in which they lost to the Braves. So this is just the before then. So it's one game off. But they are ranked 19th in the majors in terms of batting average. In terms of K percentage, they are at a 28.4%, which is first in the majors. Then in terms of WAR, they are 2.2, which is 7th in the majors. The RBIs, in terms of runs batted in, they've driven in 57 runs and are 14th in the majors. And in terms of home runs, they have hit 18 and they are 6th in the majors since the start of the Red Series. So again, in some categories, they are very just mediocre, and in others, they are below average, and especially strikeouts, they are the worst. So it doesn't really get much worse than that in terms of K percentage. So kind of the one problem that I have with this offense, and that maybe a lot of people aren't realizing, is that we do have 18 home runs, of course, across these 20 games. And since our pitching has been so dominant, we are winning games 3-2, 2-1, stuff like that. So the offense really hasn't, dominated a game 11-2 across this stretch. And again, for a team that during this offseason, we really lost some of our power bats, we are mainly winning because of the home run ball. Like I said, 18 home runs across these 20 games. So for some reason, the home run ball is the number one reason that we were even pulling away these close games when the pitching is just absolutely dominating. I mean, this Brave series was a perfect example. The first game we're getting absolutely carved, and then Mitch Garver has a walk-off 2-run home run, and we win 2-1 in the bottom of the ninth. And then similar with the second game, Jorge Polanco has a 2-run home run, and we win the game 3-2 because Dylan Moore had a double as well. So we're really just simply winning because they're putting the ball over the fence, and if we weren't putting the ball over the fence, we'd be losing a lot of these games. But again, I don't want to sound like Mr. Negative, so I am very happy that we somehow pulled away 5 series in a row against 3 really, really good teams in the Rangers, Diamondbacks, and Braves. And the schedule doesn't get much easier, so hopefully they can keep that going. But continuing with this conversation with the offense, and kind of just another frustrating thing, and obviously I've always said that Josh Rojas is one of my favorite guys, and he just been very comfortable in a Mariners uniform. But in terms of WRC plus and WAR from guys that get a lot of playing time, he is currently ranked number 1. He has posted up a 174 WRC plus and a 1.1 WAR, which is leading the Mariners in both categories. Like I said, in terms of guys that have gotten substantial playing time. And this is kind of why I bring up the question of how good can this team be? It's because there's so many guys on this roster that are just being so below average to mediocre right now. And imagine when they heat up, or let's hope, I want to say when because I have confidence that they will. But imagine when they heat up how good this team will really be. So 3 guys that are really frustrating me right now and that are on the bottom of the team in terms of WAR are Luke Raley, Mitch Garver, and Ty France when they each post up a -0.2, -0.3, and a -0.4 WAR, which I'm really surprised on the Ty France because it seemed like he had been doing really, really well, but I don't know why his WAR is so low. And it's just extremely frustrating seeing so many guys hitting below the Mendoza line. JP Crawford is hitting below the Mendoza line. He's been hurt, but still, as of right now, he's only hitting 198 on the season. Mitch Garver is well below the Mendoza line. Jorge Polanco is also below it. So that's just kind of the frustrating thing, is that these big offseason guys that we added are just struggling, even though they're starting to piece it together, especially Polanco, who had 2 hits yesterday. They're going to piece it together, especially Polanco. I just have a lot more confidence in him. Mitch Garver, I really hope, can figure it out. He is a good hitter, but he really needs to figure it out sooner rather than later. And also, let's not forget to talk about our generational talent in Julio Rodriguez, who is also struggling and only posted up an 81 WRC plus so far and a .4 WAR with 1 home run, which is still very shocking to me that he literally has 1 home run in 31 games. And while this might just be me being greedy, and he has been hitting the ball really well, I believe he had 3 hits again yesterday, he really just needs to put the ball over the fence because that's his tool, posting up 30-plus home runs a season, and I do think he will find that stroke. But as of right now, it is painful for him to only have 1 home run across these 31 games. So call me biased, but even though this pitching staff is absolutely dominant and they really truly are the best pitching staff in the league like we expected them to be, they need offensive support, and we really can't be going every single game, trying to win the game 2-1 or whatever it may be. The offense really needs to come out of its shell, and like I said, call me biased, but I do think if this offense can just be mediocre to a little bit above average, they will be a playoff contender without a doubt. If this offense can just figure it out, I do believe they can make a deep playoff run with this pitching staff, because that's the huge thing that a lot of teams lack, is the pitching depth. And we just have every single guy firing at all cylinders, and this is without Brian Wu as well. I like Emerson Hancock, and maybe they might move him to the bullpen, but I do think Brian Wu is going to get that spot when he returns. But for me, this offense really just needs to step it up and just really get back to, like I said, mediocre at best. That's fine. Be middle of the pack, but don't be number 1 in strikeouts. Don't be bottom of the pack in terms of batting average. It just won't work, and it's not sustainable. So please let me know what you guys think about this offense and this dominant pitching so far. But otherwise, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.